Alright guys, so today I'm going to be clearing up a very common FNAF misconception. What is this Five Nights at Freddy's misconception? It's the idea that William Afton, when he got spring-locked in the spring Bonnie suit and got spring-trapped and became Springtrap, that he did not like it, he hated it, he was horrified, and it caused him a lot of pain. When in reality, it did the exact opposite, and he loved it, and he felt so powerful, and he really enjoyed it. So how is this the case? Because, well, the entire idea of a Springlock suit having the endoskeleton parts be struck through you, these metal parts to get being merged with the animatronic endoskeleton, that sounds horrifying. Well, let me answer that and clear up this misconception. First off, I want to reiterate that the games, the movies, and the novel trilogy timelines are all separate. They're not supposed to be the same thing. Of course, they do have their connections in some areas. It's kind of hard to describe and figure out what is connected and what isn't connected, but the thing is, we can't take everything from the novels and the movie and just say it's 100% canon to the games. That does not work, and I'm not going to go picking and choosing what elements of the movies and the novels can be applied to the games and just do that willy-nilly with no consistency at all. Unless there's like a direct connection, or it can be used to like fill a hole in the games with two other pieces of evidence, maybe, I'd say. But because I know some people will bring up the novels and the movie in the comments of this video, I'm going to be bringing it up here. Basically, in the novel trilogy, in the Silver Eyes, from memory, I'm pretty sure he maybe just yelped out in pain at the start. He was in pain, but then he kind of just silently agonized in pain. That's what it was described as. And then afterwards, he was just pretty much completely fine in the next book, in the Twisted Ones. He was in the Spring Bonnie costume as Springtrap, and then he eventually took it off in the fourth closet as just a guy in a wheelchair. That's what he became.
No! I have had it with this stupid game!
And before all of this, he was also Springlock before, and he showed off his scars to Carlton, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, he was kind of proudly showing them off. But both times it did not appear to affect him that much, because he knew about possession and all that, and eventually about remnants, so he didn't need to fear death, so there was no problem with that. Now, you could say, like I said before, it did sound like that he was in pain when he got spring-locked, which is probably the case. So, like I said, it's not canon to the games. The Silver Eyes is not canon to the game timeline. So, yeah, let's move on to the movies now, which is kind of similar to the novel trilogy. There's a lot of connections there with the animatronics turning on Afton. But this case is very interesting because it didn't really seem like it caused him a lot of pain. A lot of people, when the movie came out, they were very upset that it wasn't an R-rated scene where he got all the metal struck through him all at once and then yelped out in pain and then just flew in the air like a cartoon character and had his limbs flipping and flopping everywhere and he wasn't screaming and crying in pain. Yeah, that did not happen. Instead, we got him just slightly wincing in pain, and it didn't really seem like it caused him too much pain. It almost looked like it was funny to him, like it was ticklish. Like, look at his face, look at Matthew Lillard. He did a really good performance portraying Afton's emotions, because it's pretty clear that he found it almost ticklish almost. It of course was a bit painful, but it was more ticklish, and like the way he was holding the wound, like, yeah, definitely. And when he flopped out, yeah, he was kind of trying to not laugh. And he even put on the Spring Bonnie mask. Why would he put that on if it caused him pain? Because it would just clamp down and hit his face, probably. At least a couple wires or something. A little bit of the metal shards that we can kind of see even on Springtrap's model in FNAF 3, if you want to say that is connected. It's just a small thing. So I would presume that anyway, there's metal shards in the helmet that would clamp down on his face, kind of like the Freddy torture chair. So why would he put that mask on if it caused him pain? And the thing is, because he liked it in the movie universe as well, and he was trying not to show off that he actually liked it and that it was actually funny to him, that he was going to become more powerful. And that's why he said, I always come back, because he knew that he was going to come back more powerful than before with a super strength. Like, you saw a little bit when he smashed one across the table, across the floor. Man, he knew that that Spring Bonnie suit was going to make him powerful, and he was trying not to laugh. Otherwise, the animatronics would have taken him out for good if they found out that Afton was actually going to come back stronger. And when they did realize it, it was too late. They'd already left the pizzeria and destroyed the toy animatronics like it was Five Funky Nights at Freddy's, because They knew they had to save Abby instead of try and put out William Afton, and even if they did know that he was more powerful than ever if he would come back, because it seems like only the Golden Freddy kid knew, Cassidy or Andrew, whichever one, it doesn't really matter in this video, but the point is, when Afton knew that he was going to come back more powerful, and he had this ticklish feeling in his stomach from the spring locks, it did cause him a little bit of pain, like I just said, but he knew of this, so he had to put a mask on top of that, and he had to put another mask on top of that mask, because he needed to play it off like it did feel like he was feeling a lot of pain, but he wasn't trying to show it because he wanted to seem not weak, and he also had to pretend that he was a mastermind at all of this, and that he had to boost his own ego to try and say that, oh yeah, I'm not gonna die, yeah, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, he had to play it off like that, and yeah, Matthew Lillard's performance in that was very good. So William Afton had to put on a mask on top of another mask, because otherwise they would all just take him out then and there, because everyone would know it, that he's got ulterior motives. But anyway, I rambled too long on the novel trilogy and the movie, sorry about that. Let's go back to the games. How do we know, without the use of the movies and the novel trilogy, that William Afton actually enjoyed and loved being spring-locked in the Spring Bonnie suit? Well, part of it is similar to the movie universe, where he knew he was going to come back more powerful because he had experimented with Possession and Remnant in Sister Location in the underground bunker. We already know that from evidence in the game, so that's the same as the movies. But what about the pain itself, the actual event itself? How do we know he actually enjoyed it and he didn't feel a lot of pain? Him knowing he would come back only justifies the fact that he knew the outcome was that he would be alive and that he didn't need to fear death or anything. But that doesn't change the fact on if he felt pain in that exact moment or not. Plus, in the games version, from what we can tell in the 8-bit mini-games, it does kind of look like to be the X-rated 18+ version, the very gorish version where a lot of sharp metals went into him at once. It was very fast, there was a lot of blood coming out everywhere, he was spraying out everywhere, and yeah, that couldn't have been too nice for him, right? At least that's what they want you to think. The first piece of evidence is the voice lines in FNAF AR Special Delivery. Now, these voice lines technically may or may not be canon. They might just be made from the Mimic or something, or it could just be out of nowhere. Maybe they're not in universe at all. They don't exist in universe and are made by the animatronics that are sent out by the special delivery services. But either way, I still think this does give us even a little bit of a glimpse into how Springtrap's personality was during his time in Fazbear's Fright. First off, there's a lot of laughing voice lines for him, and he's not in any pain in any of these voice lines. He's always so gloatful, I guess, very aggressive. He's very, like, boastful about himself, saying, I will make you suffer like so many of the others. You're done for. Suffer now, like all those who have stood before me, like that. He's very boastful about himself. I'm not sure how to describe it, but he's not in pain. He's very much showing off, I guess. And this shows us who William Afton actually is, his character, at least at this time. And that is, to put it bluntly, he's a psychopath, of course. William Afton is a psychopath, he's a madman, he's a nutcase, he's even like a sociopath as well. He is insane, he's a psychopath, yep. Of course he's going to enjoy the pain. Someone like that would enjoy being spring-locked, having these sharp metals. It's almost like, I don't want to use the word fetish, but I'm going to have to use that word because it's like a fetish to him. He loves it, he enjoys it, and he enjoys murdering people. We know that as well by his characterization in Dead by Daylight. It's pretty similar to how he was in FNAF AR. So I do think this is the canon characterization of Springtrap / William Afton, especially at this time. Yes, I do think that he was insane and that he would enjoy the Springlock failure. And I do think that he enjoyed it enough to the point that he did it again. He got Springlocked twice, just like the novel trilogy. He got Springlocked twice. How do we know this? Because of Scraptrap's suit. It's different from Springtrap's one. Literally after he escaped Fazbear's Fright, literally the first thing he does right after he escapes, he goes, finds another Spring Bonnie suit and gets Springlocked again because he loves getting Springlocked so much. He did it again, and the reason why he actually went into the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza place in FNAF 6 is because he wanted to do it a third time and try and find another Springlock suit. Now, unfortunately for him, he got burnt instead, so yeah, that's pretty unfortunate for him. He did not achieve his goal of finding a third Springlock suit. Unless you want to believe that Burntrap is actually William Afton. He actually did achieve this goal. He got springlocked a 3rd time, and by the time we see him in Security Breach, he just fulfilled his lust, and he loves it. So, William Afton being both Glitch Trap and Burn Trap in this scenario would basically be the ultimate setup for a sort of Springlock failure farm, where the Springlocks in Burn Trap keep on going on and off, and basically Glitch Trap, he can erase his memory of the Springlock event in his memory, so he can keep on feeling that pleasure and pain over and over again. And if you want to say the Mimic is Burn Trap and Glitch Trap, then you can just say this is a trait that was taken on from William Afton when it started to copy him, because of course William Afton loves being Springlocked, so the Mimic loves getting Springlocked too, so he got Springlocked once in the epilogues. Now we know that's not connected to the games, and that was not intentional, but he got Springlocked there, and he also got Springlocked, of course, as Burn Trap, so the Mimic most likely mimicked this behavior by William Afton. Now, back to the minigame in FNAF 3, you can actually see that when William Afton is in the Springlock suit and gets Springlocked, the Spring Bonnie costume's face actually changes. It goes from a smile to a shocked expression, and the question is, why does it do this? Like, how does a Spring Bonnie costume do this? Does it actually have, like, muscle in the face of it? And can it do that? Because it's supposed to be just a costume that can just move the jaw. But apparently, no, it actually can move and make expressions. So that must mean it does have muscles in it. But when you see Springtrap, he doesn't move his facials at all. It's always just stuck in the same position like any costume would be. It's stuck in the smile. And that's the thing. It's stuck in his smile. The thing is, Springtrap doesn't need to change it because he's happy. He's happy where he is right now. He's happy that he got Springlocked. He's been living in pleasure and happiness the past 30 years, and he still is. That's why he's always so egotistical in FNAF AR and Dead by Daylight. Why he's so happy. He doesn't need to be sad or be in pain and show that on his face. He's always happy. So I think it's pretty clear at this point that William Afton did enjoy the Springlocking. He liked it. Now you may be wondering, if William Afton enjoyed getting Springlocked, then why does he try and remove his suit in the rare screens and also in some of the idle animations in Dead by Daylight? Why would he try and remove the suit if he likes it and he liked the Springlocking process? And the thing is, he's trying to remove it because he wants to do it all over again. He wants to take it off and either put it back on again or find another Springlock suit and do it all again. And that's what he ended up doing. He achieved that as Scraptrap. And Scraptrap too, he does kind of look happy as well. And the last thing I want to talk about is the pose he does when he gets Springlocked in the FNAF 3 minigames. And it's like an A pose at the start, and a lot of people associate that with like a default stance, so you could say that he's resetting at that point, and that's definitely possible. It could happen. But what I think this pose is mostly associated with is in Season 5, Episode 15 of SpongeBob SquarePants' Breath of Fresh Squidward. In the whole episode, there's an electric fence, and Squidward does get shocked by it a couple times, and at the end, he does get shocked by it. SpongeBob sees him there, and he doesn't see anything wrong with it. He tries to shake his head, and he gets shocked as well. He joins in, and then Patrick also joins in. He sees them, and he finds it amusing. He says he like wants to dance funny too or something, and he's very much enjoying it. Now, you're probably wondering, how does this have anything to do with Five Nights at Freddy's, with William Afton getting Springlocked in the FNAF 3 8-bit minigame? And the thing is, Afton actually holds that pose for a couple frames, quite a few frames, and in the episode, all three characters hold that pose at the end for pretty much, it makes it look like it goes on forever, but obviously it doesn't, but it goes on for a long time. And now, the thing is, electric fence, it does not sound like fun. It sounds like you would die from it. It sounds very dangerous if you stay on it for a long time. It doesn't sound like you would enjoy it. But the thing is, of course, the characters are enjoying it, all three of them, because they stay there. Why don't they just take their hand off? Obviously, there's nothing stopping them 1000% from just taking their hands off. And no, they keep on staying there. Why? It's obvious. Because they enjoy it as well. They enjoy it. And the A pose here is tied to enjoyment. Just like how William Afton is actually enjoying the Springlock suit. The first thing he feels is joy, so he does the A pose. The A pose is symbolism for enjoyment. And just like that episode, why couldn't William Afton just not be Springlock? He could have just said no and just turned it off. In the books, there was literally like a button or a switch. In the novel Trilogy, Charlie just flips a switch or something and then it goes off. So, in all of these cases, why didn't William Afton just flip the switch back and just turn the spring locks off? He could have, but he doesn't. I know in FNAF 3 there's a hand crank, so it might have taken him a little bit to turn it off, but still, he could have turned it off. Nothing's stopping him from getting the hand crank and just unwinding it. And maybe you could say there wasn't a hand crank there. I feel like there's a possibility there wasn't, but then why couldn't he just go and drive to the nearest place that does have one and just use that or something? I don't know why he couldn't just figure out a solution if he actually was in pain and didn't want this. So he of course really wanted to get spring locks, and I don't think the door was actually closed at that time, the safe room door. Yeah, so why didn't he just go and find a hand crank and stop it? He could have, but he didn't. The reason he didn't is because he enjoyed the spring locking process, and I think it's pretty obvious at this point. There's nothing else to say. That's it for this video. Bye. Also, if it wasn't obvious already, yes, this video is a joke, yeah. I wonder how many people are going to think this is real. Bye, for real this time.